Everything is ending spell. All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. We've got two presenters, so we're going to roll right into this morning. The first is Marc Miller of WalletFi. I think I stalked Marc for a while, maybe the last 6 months or so, until he graciously accepted the invitation to come and present. So I thank you for carving out time for us, and we look forward to hearing about WalletFi and how you can solve our pain points of having payments not being paid and dropped. So, Marc, welcome.
Thank you.
That's right, left, yeah. Right. Let me get you started.
That'd be great.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody?
Great.
It's working.
Yay. Great, fantastic. Well, thank you, Krista. Thank you, Casey. Thank you. I'm Marc Miller, COO and co-founder of WalletFi. We're helping financial institutions attract or acquire and retain customers through their subscriptions. Before I start, can I just see a show of hands of how many folks in this room have had to get a new credit card, either through reissuance, fraud, any reason in the past year, credit or debit card? So we know that that's a painful process. Secondly, how many of you have multiple subscriptions or recurring charges on those cards? So big show of hands. So great. So it's great to hear, and you're not alone.
Is it going?
Nope. There we go. Awesome. So you're not alone. So the average American has 10 to 15 recurring subscription charges tied to multiple bank cards. Now, from a payment standpoint, if you look at where card payments are going, it's on a trajectory like this, and this is virtual and plastic. We're not just referring to plastic. With bill payment through your bank and financial institutions going this way. So we live in what's been now known as the subscription economy, and we're seeing more and more. No, it's not.
Is it on? Is the switch on? No, it's on the side. Switch on the side.
Oh, yeah. It says on. Here we go. So as you can see, most anything now besides your mortgage and your automobile loan can be put on a card and is on a subscription basis. This is becoming more and more of a problem from a management standpoint for both individuals and businesses. So the problem for individuals, customers, losing a card is painful. Understanding what you're paying for on a recurring monthly basis, you have to go back 13 months to figure that out. It takes time. Once you figure it out, trying to understand how do I update that payment information across multiple sites, calling in person, results in, again, tremendous time, pain for the consumer. And lastly, switching banks is a hassle. There was a recent study, without talking about payments, we must discuss millennials. I had to drop millennials in here at one point. 82% of millennials said they are open to switching financial institutions, specifically community banks and credit unions. 65% said they would not switch credit union or they would not switch financial institutions because it's such a pain. So for the banks, again, losing a card, churn during reissuance happens. That 7 days it takes to get your new card in the mail, you're going to pull out that next card in your wallet, update those charges, and now you're going to be using that next bank's card as your primary card. Customer service is impacted. Fraud happens, cards are reissued, you're picking up the phone, you're calling your bank, you're calling your credit union. Walk me through this. I did that recently. It took an hour with Bank of America. And lastly, again, switching, there's a lot of missed revenue opportunities. From a retail standpoint, financial institutions make their money on interchange. And so by making these things more difficult, they're losing out on these opportunities. But thankfully, there's a better way now, and that's WalletFi. So with WalletFi, we've created technology that'll, through machine learning, that'll go into all of your cards, be able to identify those recurring charges, enabling you to move those charges from an old card to a new card, giving you more financial control. For the institutions, we're providing an easy onboarding process with a self-service tool. We're delighting customers because we're talking about things that they're loyal to, which is their subscriptions. And we're helping institutions secure top of wallet by capturing that interchange, either during a reissuance or when an individual is switching to a bank during account opening, getting those recurring charges onto your debit and credit card. So how do we make money? What's our business model? So we're currently selling WalletFi as a B2B to C solution, it's a digital solution to banks and credit unions. Really with the focus of improving customer experience. We can be consumed in either an iOS app, through our API, or through WalletFi Lite, which is essentially an online platform for institutions. We make money through a simple pricing model. There's an implementation or integration fee, there's a monthly platform fee, and then we do charge a per user, so per active user per month fee to the institutions. We're approaching banks and credit unions both directly from a business development standpoint, and we're also developing relationships with channel partners such as the large cores, FIS and Fiserv, and mobile banking providers. So I brought up the subscription economy before and how, really we're seeing this tremendous growth. So it's, the numbers are there. It's grown 3,000% since 2013, and it's now valued at over $102 billion. That's just in the United States. So that's a big opportunity. And banks are now pivoting to where applications were always built for banks. They weren't built for their consumers. We're on the precipice now where you're seeing Goldman Sachs, Citi, Bank of America acquire consumer-facing applications to build into their mobile banking platforms, and we feel we're positioned well for this new movement. So the vision. So WalletFi was actually built out of a pain point my co-founder and I had, which was our cards were compromised, lost. We realized it was a real pain in the neck. Through a lot of customer discovery, we realized that this was more of an issue or even bigger pain point for banks and credit unions. And ideally, where we really see this going and where the vision is we see WalletFi's technology being leveraged by all banks for putting all their subscriptions on one card, the subscription card. So we're happy to be here, 1 Million Cups. Appreciate everybody coming to listen and learn a little bit about WalletFi and what we do. We're looking to connect with banks and credit unions, beta testers. We do have a beta app that's available and being pushed out. Strategic partners, and also investors. We currently are raising on a note, convertible note, it's open up until $500,000. We've currently raised $315,000 through some folks you may know, the Venture Capital Multiplier Fund, Carolina Research Ventures. And then I also wanted to point out FIS for those of you that aren't in financial services, aren't familiar with FIS. FIS is the largest fintech company in the world. They're a $30 billion company based out of Jacksonville. They have over 20,000 banks globally as partners. We came through their accelerator program in Little Rock, Arkansas last summer. We went in actually with the business to consumer app, came out with the platform and the idea for WalletFi as a business to consumer application, and FIS has also invested in WalletFi. So lastly, just quickly talk about who we are, what we do, the team. So it was founded by myself and Alon. I am a second-time entrepreneur. I had a services company based out of Boston prior. It was IT service focused. We grew it to 17 million before I decided that I wanted to jump off and get into fintech and software. Alon, my co-founder, is a Keenan Flagler Business School graduate. He's from California originally, has had 2 other consumer-facing startups previously. We have in attendance our product manager, Chris Brown, also local out of Chapel Hill. We've got a great advisory committee made up of bank executives and actually local investor. And we currently are going to be filling a board seat, yet to be announced, but we have the person, we're waiting to do it, who's very well known in banking in the fintech community out of the Northeast. So I'm Mark, we're WalletFi. Love to hear your questions. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark, so just FYI,
Sure.
got about 14 minutes worth of Q&A here.
Okay.
All right, and I would just ask that everybody, because of the acoustics here, speak loudly or stand up so we can all benefit from your question. Thank you.
Or both.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll try to do both then. This is fascinating to me because 2 weeks ago I switched banks because Wells Fargo was paying 0.07% interest
Yep.
on my money, and the Coastal Federal Credit Union was paying somewhere between 1.25 and 3% on my money. But then I found I had 21 different things that were being currently auto-paid
Yeah.
or auto-deposited. It took me 19 and a half hours to switch things over. If I had WalletFi, is there any way that would have helped me?
Oh, definitely. So what you would have been able to do, and what's your name, sir?
Mark.
Mark, good, great name. You would have been able to use, you would log into WalletFi. All you would have had to do is log into your mobile banking through Wells Fargo, and we would have pulled through all those charges for you.
And is your product ready to do that?
So our beta is, yes, yeah, we can do that. We can do that right now. We can do that right now. And so we can pull those out for you. And then there's some right now that we can actually help you switch that new card number right within your app. So say it was like Netflix. You'd have been able to, you log your new number in Netflix and you just really drag and drop that over and it'll update that card number. But I mean, that's a great use case, 19 and a half hours, which is crazy.
I'm not sure you got the gist. He's having like stuff deposited to his account, stuff out of his bank account, not his credit card account.
So yes, we'll still identify all that.
Okay.
So when you look at, when I say recurring, we'll pick up, even your mortgage will show up because it's recurring. So we have an algorithm that uses over 45 data points to figure out those things. So you may not be able to transfer like your mortgage, but you'll see that your mortgage is there, you see that your automobile loan's there, or you may be, if you're on bill pay, like if you're using bill pay, say for your insurance, it would still come up. So you would know, okay, I gotta switch that over to my Coastal Federal Credit Union account. But that's a great use case. Yes.
Are you a collaborator or a strategic partner with Global Payments, or
So we would be a strategic partner or collaborator. No.
Yeah. So how did the United States fall so far behind China in smartphone payments and Wi-Fi payments?
Regulation and compliance.
We have tighter regulations.
Yes, much tighter.
The back.
So you're just iOS right now for the beta?
We're just iOS for the beta.
And do you have developers in-house that do all of that, or how do you?
So we don't. So we have a development partner. They're actually out of Nashville, Tennessee. They're a fintech-focused development shop, and they have a really interesting model. They use a nearshoring model, which is they have centers in rural West Virginia where they're bringing individuals out of the commercial university, come in while they're in school, training them on these fintech technologies, and then leveraging them to do work for companies like us. We've had tremendous success. Thank you.
Okay, Mark?
Yes.
So we use QuickBooks now for our business. So do you foresee creating some kind of an app that will pick up all this transaction and then display us?
So that's a great question. So we can, whether it's commercial accounts or individual accounts, we can still pull all those things out. But future potentially is we're trying to figure out ways that we can help businesses manage all the multiple cards through something like a connector with QuickBooks or Concur, something like that. But not there yet.
Hi, I'm Fabrice. So I have an account with, let's say I have an account with Credit Union, I have an account with Fidelity, I lose my Credit Union card, I want to move all my payments and stuff over to Fidelity.
Yep.
Who do you have to have done the deal with for that to move? Fidelity or Credit Union?
Neither, actually. neither. Because what the technology we have, we're using something right now called Plaid. You can log into, we have access to 9,000 banks. You can log into Fidelity and Coastal. Or you could log into, you could log into both of those.
Yeah.
And you would see the transactions. You, the user, could actually make that happen without even having an integration with the bank.
So what are you selling to the banks then?
We're selling to the banks. So we're not a B2C app.
Okay.
We're selling this to the banks. We're selling the same technology to the banks so that they can, if you're coming in to open an account, they can take our API, plug into their account opening process. So at that time when you're getting your new debit card, you can log in to your other account and pull over charges to that new Coastal. So the bank's hardest thing to do is capturing revenue at that account opening. And if they can get those pesky recurring charges, even a couple on your new debit card, behavior change, and that becomes more your top of wallet or share of wallet card.
Thank you. Are you private labeling this under the auspice of the actual
Yes.
banks?
Yeah. White label under the auspices of the bank.
So, from a security perspective, if you're bringing from a security perspective, if you're bringing multiple financial institution pieces together into your app, doesn't that make that an even bigger threat from a fraud perspective?
So, the technology that we're currently using, it's a great question in that, yes, it's something that we thought about. We're not grabbing from the other, we're not grabbing the PII data, so we're not grabbing your social, we're not getting the full PAN, the full PAN number on your card. But it's security is something that we take very seriously. One of our advisors is, actually he was a security architect with USAA. So that was concern number one, especially being financial services. So it makes it a little bit more complex, but the way that we're using these systems, it's not too compliant. We're on target. It's a great question. Yes?
So I think subscription fatigue is a real thing.
Yeah.
And I think when I saw this and what I hoped it would be something that would alleviate that. So maybe you can tell me why this is a bad idea, but why isn't this something where we just pay you for the subscription? And so you have a list of all of our subscriptions.
Yep.
We're paying you. Then when I get a new card, I just have to switch you over instead of 39 different subscriptions or however many I have.
Yeah.
So for insight, 'cause I don't know.
So no, that's actually great. And when I was talking before, kind of about the subscription card, that's exactly where we're going, and that's exactly how we're thinking about it, because there is subscription fatigue. You know, something I didn't mention too, from a notification standpoint, so that's built into the application as well. I mean, I don't know how many of you ever signed up for something for free for 30 days and then you forget about it and it keeps hitting your card, it keeps hitting your card, it keeps hitting your card. It happens a lot. Everybody knows that. So that's something, you know, from an ongoing basis, to your point about how we help the banks too, you know, the banks have to get more customer focused in how they think, and the subscriptions, the way they're growing is monstrous. So by being able to manage your subscriptions through your banking or credit union application, there's a tremendous amount of value.
I may have misheard this. Did you say you were white labeling this for banks to have this as like their personal app kind of? Like?
So yeah, so banks can use it actually one of three ways. So the iOS app can be white labeled for a bank or credit union. The API can be leveraged to tie into their mobile banking platform, white labeled as well. And then the WalletFi Lite is the online web-based application that we have white labeled as well.
And then so for like switching over, like Mark was talking about, what does that look like if you're switching? So it's essentially your platform, but it's switching an entire brand. And if you're in the background, what does that transition look like?
So if I understand the question correctly, if you're saying you're moving from one bank to another, is that?
And so you have like your Wells Fargo app,
Yes.
secretly WalletFi, and you switch to Federal Credit Union. Like, do you then tell them that you're not like I guess are you all the way in the background? Like, do people like?
We're in the background.
Okay.
They can log into whatever accounts they want to, and then they take the action. And I'll be happy to show anybody after I have the app. I can show you, I have a demo actually, I can show everybody how it actually works. be happy to do that. Yeah.
But then, what would it, how would like Mark switch all of his information over? Would he just like how would that transition work? I guess. To go
So it's imagine like if I can go back. Keith, can you go to the first slide? Just to get visualization is always better. Like, so this is what the app looks like right now. You see here, there's another card. So actually, within your wallet, you'd have your second card. So you could see this. You'd slide to the right and say transfer or cancel, and then you'd pick the card in your wallet that you want to move it to. No. It's great. Probably should have. This is it. Pretty. We're very happy. I'm very proud of it. Any other questions?
So Mark, since we have a few more minutes.
Okay.
So, do you also track the pay-per-use kind of subscription, because some of them are not flat fee every month, right?
Yeah. So well, again, with the algorithm that we have, it'll pick the data points. Will pick up certain things. They look at. I mean, the obvious one would be like $7.99, $7.99, $7.99. But they'll look at naming conventions, the type of transaction that comes through. So it will pick that up. Like Audible. Audible could be different every month based upon how many books you buy. So we pick that up. AT&T, Verizon, those types of things will pick up. You know, it's not a subscription; it's just a recurring charge.
Right.
And we actually pick up card on file as well. So Uber, Lyft, Amazon, we'll pick up those charges as well as card on file, because when you do get a new card, your card information is stored in so many different places, and being able just to figure out, okay, the subscriptions is one thing, but where, you know, my Southwest Airlines account, my Hilton Honors account, like all that, we bring all that through as well, so that you have the option to take action on
I wish we could sign it now.
And Mark, you'll be around afterwards.
I will.
To
Yeah,
be able to
I will.
spend some time
And Chris is
with
here
people.
too, and I've got a demo, and I've actually got the app on my phone. Happy to show anybody.
Okay, good deal. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right.